bowl right here. It's going to be a bowl from a board technique. So first of all, I start out with what I want it to look like. Then I have to figure out how I'm going to make it. That's what this guy is here, detailing all the little pieces I'm going to have to make. And these will be all the rows here once I cut it out. One thing unique about this here is actually I'm going to get two bowls out of it. There'll be an A and a B bowl. So this will be one bowl here. This will be the second bowl right here. Another unique thing about this design is the very top row, these little guys here, I'm going to have to cap them off like this. So that'll be unique. Anyway, so start making all these guys here, and we'll show you how we go along the way. Here's cut strips. Sanded down sides are going to be 1/8 of an inch, so I have to make it bigger than that, obviously. So I got them sanded down to size. This here, each one of these is 3/8 of an inch here. So I'll glue it and clamp it. It's going to take a lot of glue. And then once I get that done, then I can start cutting in appropriate size strips. So this is my first one glued up. Obviously takes a lot of clamps. So now I need 10 of these total. So to make this, I glued maple on both sides of one of these guys. So this will be in the middle, and then there'll be white on both sides. This is how I did that. Glued that up. So now that's 1 1/8 inches thick. I'll start cutting them into shorter pieces. I need the 1 1/8 inch guys, and then I need the 3/4 inch high ones. These 45s here, like this, and to do that, it's nothing fancy. Turn my blade to 45 degrees here and just push it through so I can get these guys glued up. Put a little piece of white here, get this all glued together. Next thing I need to do is glue these guys together. So this will be 3/4 of an inch this way, and then 1 1/8 inches this way. Alright, so I got all these glued up now. Let them dry for a bit. Gluing up these sections like this, making sure that they're all even. It's very critical to have everything exact here, this way for sure. Not so much this way, but this way they have to be lined up. More gluing the pieces together here. You got the two boards here, and now's the time to do any tweaking that you have to do. Sanding one or the other corners here before I glue it up, because the outside corners here are not glued on yet. So now is the time to get any last tweaking, and I've gone through it and I get pretty good as far as alignment goes. And it's going to be a tricky one once I get the boards on here, but we're going to keep going. So the hard part's done now. So this will be one board here, this is the other one. So you can see what I'm after here, the looping. Okay, both boards are glued up now. Just got done gluing these two sides on each board. Now we'll let them dry for a while. And normally I use the board itself, but to do the designing. But I have this board here that's the same length as this and the same width. So I'm going to use this as my board. It's easier for you to see what I'm doing, and it's easier for me to work on. So first of all, I always put the base on there. So we'll mark this as two ends. And I'm keeping this board even with the squares, trying to keep it straight on here too. So we got 6 of them, and the center of this is going to be this long here. I think it's like 0.47. Yeah, that's the center right here. And that is 4.7 here. 4.7, 4.7, and then for 6 of them here, that's 3.8. 3.8 times, these are 0.64 thick, 0.63, 0.64, so 0.64 times 6 equals 3.84, and got 3.84. So this is good here. So here's your center, here's the edge of the board. Now, I cut my angles at 45 because that's the most my scroll saw will cut at an angle of 45 degrees. So I use my square here, like so, keeping it even, and I bring it all the way to the edge, the most material we can, keeping it square with the lines. And that will define our angle here. So you want that angle to go to an outside corner here, and then down to the base. So this will be the outside bowl right here, and then you could do, you don't have to, but you could do this also on this side of things, and keeping it square with the lines out to the outer edge, something like that. Intersection go up. This is the width of how much wood you're going to have to work with here is this part right here. So you join them lines up, and that's the thickness of the walls here. Then you can drop that down here. This is giving you an approximate here. Not exact, approximate. Doesn't have to be exact. And then what you're doing here is, we'll get this one too. You're joining these lines like this. So that's your flat board here, and it'll be cut out like that, so you see how the cuts will be. So that's all you got to do to design it. Now, the outer one I've already done. The center here is going to the outer one here, so I've already done that. So what I got to do next is drill some holes here, and I want to drill them as close to 45 as you can. So I have this little guy right here. I have this little guy with my guide here. This is 45 degrees, this guy, and it fits in there nicely like that. So that's 45 degrees. So I'm just put this in here, drill it like this. Fortunately, you can't see very well, but so we're going to drill these holes here and use this as a guide. That just make sure that the blade that I have will go through, and it does. So that's big enough drill hole, and then I just need to do it to all of them like that. Waste block, and then I'll do the same thing for both boards. I'll get them the bottom glued on, and then I'll work my way out, and each one I'll be gluing on to the next one. So it's nothing fancy here, just a lot of cutting. Alright, first one cut out. So I'll glue that onto a waste block now. So I'll use the lathe to center this board right on here with where I have the center when I did the design. So then I take that out and put that on and apply some pressure and let it dry. So this is row 2. Glue it on now. Right, that's good there. So I got 3 rows glued on now, so 3 more. Okay, so this is row 4 here. 1, 2, 3, 4 on board A. Alignment is pretty critical here. Make sure you're out aligned up and you're not wrong by 180 degrees here. So that's the first thing. And once you get it in the right position where we're looping back and forth, then you got to look at everywhere. You got to look at the red line. You got to look at making sure these guys are lined up. It's pretty critical at this point. My angles are at 45 degrees, so your mistakes are multiplied by 1.41 square root of 2 is that. So make sure it's lined up, get it pressed down a little bit, look on the inside, make sure it looks good on the inside also. So what I'm doing here is after each row I kind of clean it up with a lathe, making sure it's round, so then I can trust that as the center when I put the next row on here. So I'm going to use this top piece here to glue on the top, but I got to get rid of a few things here. What I'm really doing this is for the matching the red and the walnut here. I'm going to be closing these up, so I'll have to have these a little thinner. But I'm going to use this, cut these out, sand it down, and you'll see how I do that. glued them on first, the little pieces one by one. And then I took the top that I cut out, was left over, and I made it thinner, but I also put extensions on both ends. So I put one extension on this end and two on this end here. So it fit and cover up the gaps. So then I'll glue this on here and we'll be ready for the next roll. So I made a row here of 16 segments per row, glued it on, and now I'll let that dry, and then I can start the lading process. So I'm ready to cut it off now. It looks cool, but I'm not real happy about some of the alignments on it. It's a tough one to get aligned correctly.